Hey guys, welcome to the 2 a.m. pipe on the patio. Today, smoking my Missouri Meerschaum Rob Roy with some Milan Tobacco's Reflections. One of my favorites. It's probably my favorite Reflections and Jefferson Street are probably my two favorite aromatics that I smoke from the United States. I just love these. And luckily they come from my brick and mortar right here. Oh, my back is a mess today. I was out under the mower for a good part of the day today. I went and got, a couple days ago, I found a couple of ramps for my mower so I can put the front end up on the ramps, and I can get up underneath it to, you know, work on the changing the blades and stuff like that. I'd been looking at them and didn't want to pay what they were asking for them for new ones. And I was thinking I'd probably just, you know, build a set out of wood. And wood's so dang expensive now that it was almost as much to build them as it was to buy a new set from Harbor Freight. So Diddy says, why don't you look on Facebook Marketplace, see if you can find some there. So the other day, I looked on Facebook Marketplace, found a used pair for 20 bucks. Right here, close by here, about 50 minutes from where we live. Called the guy up, still had them. So we drove out there. Beautiful drive, man. It was just a gorgeous drive out to where he lived. And picked him up, brought him home. So today I decided to get underneath my back wasn't feeling too bad today, so when I got up, so I decided to go out, try and change the blades. So I got the mower up on the ramps, got all my tools out, got up underneath the mower and discovered that my spindle's broken. One of the spindles is completely broken. It just spins and spins. You know, when I tried to take off the blade, even when I, you know, had stuck a chunk of wood up in there to block the blade, it just spins. So I got to replace that spindle. So I went online to the place where I get my parts for my mower, and this mower's, you know, 35 years old, something like that. It's an old Craftsman. I paid $150 for this mower. So the parts to fix this spindle, just for the internal parts for the spindle, was $141. And I'd have to, you know, rebuild it. So that didn't include the housing. I'd have to reuse the housing that I had. And I'm thinking, that just seems ridiculous, you know. I don't even know if the housing's any good. You know, I don't know if the housing got broken. I hadn't pulled it off or anything yet. So I put in, I go to Google and I just put in blade spindle for my lawnmower model. Up pops the entire spindle assembly on Amazon for $31. So I click on it and I look at the, you know, it says replaces this part number. So I go on the owner's manual for my mower. I look at the part number for the whole spindle assembly. It's the same part number. So I'm thinking, well, there we go. I'm buying that. I'm getting the whole assembly for $31 rather than just the internals for it for $141. I'm gonna buy two of them because the other one's kind of sloppy. I figure it's, you know, it's been on there for who knows, 35 years or whatever, however old it is. I'll just replace both of them together. It'll be good for another 20 years, whatever. For that price, you know, can't go wrong. So I'm checking it out and I'm making sure that it's, you know, it's got all the parts, got everything I need. Same pattern for the blade and everything. Sure enough, it is. So I figure I'm going to just replace both spindles, put new blades on it. Thing will be good to go for however long I have the mower. Figure if I wind up getting a new one later on, that one will go to Sadie and Channing when they have their place. They can have that mower. It'll be good to go for them, you know. And I've got, I always keep extra belts in the garage and everything for it. So I put everything away. Put all my tools away. I come back in here and just sit down, and my back's just been aching all day. Just that little bit of getting down on the ground underneath that mower, you know, lifting the ramps and just all that kind of stuff, just moving things around, just set my back off again. It's not horrible, but it's sore, and it hurts, and it's been worse. It's been way worse, but man, it's just sore. So now I gotta wait for the parts to come. I got a little gas push mower out in the shed out behind the barn. So I'm probably going to get that out tomorrow and see if I can get that running. And then I can, you know, take care of some of the smaller things with that in the meantime. It'll be good to have that anyway, because there's a lot of sections that I can't get to with the riding mower. Now it will be good to have that one running, and I can use that for underneath the trees and bushes and out in the garden area and stuff. And so it'll be good to have that one running. So I'll work on that tomorrow. Have to go down and get some carburetor spray and gum out and seafoam. Get that thing all up and running. Put a new spark plug in it and get a gas filter and see if I can get that thing up and running. Use that in the meantime for keeping some of the cleanup stuff done around the house till I can get the mower done, the big mower done. Right. So that's the latest around here. I got to get the weed whacker out and start doing some weed whacking. Need to do that really bad. And then I'm gonna rent a billy goat bush hog and attack this hill behind us here. And you can see these bushes back here. These things are just growing out of control, and those are back on the city's property, back behind this brick wall. There's about a 20-foot patch of grass that I maintain, and it's fenced off. It's fenced off behind our property, and we maintain it. We use it. We can use it, and so I mow that. I keep that all. That's been part of this property for. It's not our property, but it's part of our property. It's been fenced off onto this property forever, and so, but that's the city's property back there. As long as I maintain it, you know, we can use it. And but then there's like a chain link fence all around it, and all of that stuff, all this stuff here is growing up behind that fence. This one here is on that side of the fence. That's a plant that's not a weed or anything. That's an actual, I forget the name of it. I think it's not a Rosa Sharon, but it's a plant that the bees love that plant, so we keep that one around. But I've been trim that one down. I trim that one down every in the fall. I trim that one way down, and then it grows up. And but you know, these ones here, these are just big trees way down the hill. Those are way down the hill. They're just huge trees, so I can't do anything about those. But these ones here, all of these back here, these are all just big bushes that are growing up on the city's property on the other side of our fence. So I'm going to get that bush hog, and I'm going to do a pathway, defensible space all around the back of our property here with that bush hog, and do a pathway down to where these trees are growing, these big plants are growing, so I can cut them down, and so we don't lose our view. Because they're just big weedy bushes that are growing down there. So I'll just take the bush hog and cut a path all around the whole outside of our back fence here. Our yard here is just natural, weedy, garbagey growth. Natural growth that's grown. So I'm going to just put like a 2 to 4 foot wide path behind our fence that I can keep clear, so I can go back there and walk around and just keep the growth down. Right now I can't get back there. It's just so overgrown back there. I can go rent a bush hog from Home Depot for, I think it's $100 a day. And there's a bunch of weeds on this side of the property, on the other side of our fence on this side of our property, that I want to just level all that down too and just get rid of all of that. So I'll use it on that as well. And so I'm planning to do that after it gets a little cooler in the fall, when we don't have to worry about snakes back there. So I don't want to run into any cottonmouths or timber rattlers. So I'll wait till they go into their little, they go into seclusion. And although once that bush hog gets running, I'm sure they'll all scurry away anyway, but I just don't want to run into any of them. So that's my plans for the things around here. Hoping to pick up a chainsaw here. Cut up some stuff out in the front. Get rid of some of the low-hanging branches that are out there. Our next door neighbor has a bunch of branches down in their yard that their lawn guys just keep piling up, piling up, and piling up. And they're right on the edge of our property. And they don't cut around them, the grass just keeps growing and growing and growing. So it's got this real tall grass all around these down branches. So I keep going over there and trying to pull, some of the branches up under a tree and trying to cut back some of that grass every time I mow, little at a time. But some of those branches are so big that I'm going to need a chainsaw to cut them up. So I'm looking for a used chainsaw that I can get. I don't need any big, I'm not cutting down any trees or anything. I'm just cutting up branches and stuff that I can make them manageable. And I can haul them down to the front for the trash guys to pick up. Stack them up down there, and they'll pick them up on trash day. Anyway, that's what's going on here. So I just thought I'd come out here and do a little video here. Smoking the Rob Roy, first smoke out of the Rob Roy. I bought this about a year ago. Bought a couple of them when I bought the Emerald. I bought the Emerald and 2 Rob Roys. Figured I'd break out the Rob Roy and smoke one of them. But this one is way longer than I wanted it to be. I'm sorry, guys. I will catch you later. Have a good one. God bless.